Welcome back and thank you very much for staying with us. Now let's bring you some developments in the polity. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has clarified impressions raised in some sections of the public that it received huge sums of money from development partners for the 2023 elections. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu told civil organizations that the commission did not receive any direct funding or cash support, but indirect support through partners working on elections. Professor Yakubu made this clarification at an event to review the 2023 general election. Correspondent Habib Lawal reports.
A post-2023 general election survey recently conducted by Situation Room has exposed a significant dip in citizens' confidence in the Independent National Electoral Commission. This year, citizens queried the ability of INEC to conduct a credible elections in the country. This distrust was fueled by fake news, misinformation, and disinformation. In the light of upcoming off-cycle governorship elections in Kogi, Imo, and Bayelsa State in November 2023, civil society organizations believe the shortcomings experienced during the general elections of February and March 2023 should be thoroughly scrutinized. At this meeting with major civil society organizations, INEC listed some of the challenges it encountered during the elections and how it affected its optimal performance.
The severe cash and fuel situations were compounded by the perennial insecurity nationwide. Their impact on our deployment plans, compounded by the behavior of some of our own officials in the field, made logistics management particularly challenging. The deployment of thugs by some political actors made election day administration difficult in a number of places. While voter accreditation using the bimodal voter accreditation system was very successful.
For the 2023 general election, the Commission received 538 requests for accreditation as observers. However, only 67 observer groups, 62 of which are domestic and 5 foreign, have submitted their observation report.
Out of 228 observer groups, this is not very good for us from civil society. Only 67 observer groups have sent in their reports. I will encourage my colleagues that we try as much as possible the effort that we put into applying for accreditation. We should also make that effort to ensure that we send in our reports. Because over the years, I have noticed that the recommendations that we put into our reports are taken on by INEC.
The performance of the technology deployed is also in review. It will form the basis of engagement with stakeholders for necessary improvement. Habib Lawal, TVC News, Abuja.
Ondo State government is planning to attract $2 billion investments to the state and create 70,000 new jobs. The state acting Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa disclosed this at the opening ceremony of an investment summit tagged Development Ondo 2.0. Ayodeji Muradio reports.
Investors, technocrats, business moguls, and development partners gathered in Akure for the 2023 Ondo State Investment Summit. The summit is designed to woo investors to the state and create thousands of jobs for teeming unemployed youths.
To showcase Ondo State's investment potential.
During the summit open, the state acting Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa said the summit is organized to showcase the state investment potential, with the state richly blessed with natural resources like bitumen, crude oil, and cocoa. Aiyedatiwa sought partnership for the development of the state seaport.
The realm of renewable energy points to us a greener and more sustainable future. Ondo State is blessed with abundant renewable energy sources such as solar and biomass, making it an ideal location for investments in renewable energy generation.
The managing director of the Niger Delta Development Commission, Samuel Obuku, expressed readiness of the interventionist agency to collaborate with the state government.
State governments like yours are one of our most important stakeholders Your role in the Niger Delta is very crucial to the success of our approach. That is why the advisory committee made up of governors from 9 NDDC member states is an important consultative body.
Others, in their goodwill messages, stressed the need for government to focus on poverty alleviation and job creation.
Room for progress on all the SDG indicators for the state. Hence, we must collaborate, work together, and double our efforts.
I am pleased to report that Ondo State earned its esteemed ranking as a state with the lowest poverty rate of 27% in Nigeria. This achievement is a testament to the efficacy of the redeemed agenda.
In 2022, our support has been already put to good use in a certain number of areas, such as doing business reform and access to finance for women and youth-led businesses, as well as investment promotion.
It is hoped that this 3-day summit will not be a mere jamboree, as investors are here to ensure that they bring rapid development to the state. Ayode Jimoradeyo, TVC News, Akure.
Let's take a short break, and when we return, it will be time to speak with our guest of the day, who is a constitutional lawyer and political analyst, Tunji Abayomi, for discussion on President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda and ministerial expectations. Please stay with us.
There is always more to a story than the scribbled line. The part of a story that is not told casts a shadow. It's like the part of an object that is not reached by light. On TVC News, I'm able to explore the many angles there are to a story, talking to stakeholders, asking the difficult questions, and digging for facts. I believe the viewers are able to make a better decision if they're well informed and understand not just a part, but the complete story. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Lagos is the most visited state in Africa, as the 5th largest economy on the continent. Covering the state and its government is no mean feat, it's a busy beat. We go beyond the curtain of tapes to traveling far into the deep.
I want to thank the Lagos State government for the healthcare facility.
To bring stories that cut across all spectrums.
A greater Lagos shall be ours.
We tell you stories that define our collective well-being as Lagosians. I'm Adedoja Salamadini. I live in Lagos, inside Lagos.
Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. Now let's get to our interview with the guest of the day. I am joined by a constitutional lawyer and political analyst, Dr. Tunji Abayomi, for discussion on President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda and ministerial expectations. Thank you very much for joining us, Doctor.
Thank you.
All right, let's start by assessing President Tinubu's administration. It is about 55 days since President Tinubu assumed office. How will you assess it?
Well, he has 5 more days, but in terms of performance, he's done very well in 2 respects. First, he was courageous to confront the initial issues that agitate the minds of Nigerians. We have, for quite many years now, as a people, have been offended by this issue. importation by just a few people, making so much money, and a lot of corruption in this regard. Is able to cancel that, so that we'll actually face our problems squarely. The abnormal governance in the central bank was confronted, but a more significant development is the fact that he listened to the voices of Nigerians with regard to this, what I would call crazy commitment to give 8,000, I think, to 12 million families out of a population of 200 million. The Nigerian people consider it unreasonable, and they express their opinions. I'm particularly glad that we see the reaction of a human rights president, in the sense that the voices of the people of Nigeria became power of government and decided the will of government. That was why he decided to retreat from that, what I'm afraid I consider to be a misadventure. In these regards, I think he has done very well.
All right, Doctor. The president based his election campaign on the Renewed Hope agenda. How promising is this document for development of the country?
Well, the Renewed Hope agenda is obviously focusing mainly on economic transformation of the country. The reality of the matter is the wealth of a nation is one of the most significant duties. Raising the wealth of a nation is one of the most significant duties of any government. As it is said in Swiss money journals, money talks, wealth whispers. Committing a government to enhancing the well-being of the people depends on the wealth of a nation. Getting a government to provide the basic needs of the people depends on the wealth of government. Even the recognition and the regard of nations in our world depends on the wealth of a nation. So now, and this is the point I was making, when people like us supported the president, that the most important president for this time must be a president who can create wealth and manage it for the benefit of the people. You cannot manage poverty. It's difficult to manage poverty. And the only way to manage poverty is to turn poverty to wealth by raising capital for any nation. I believe the effort now to clean up the system, he has already started in the oil sector, in the financial sector. He has dissolved many of these boards. He has appointed some responsible leaders and is giving them his words, his mandate, his expectation. So we are moving up as a nation.
So to what extent will you say the president has implemented the Renewed Hope agenda?
He has just started. I just said he is beginning. Obviously, the implementation this is just a period of testing, so to say. The serious work will begin when he constitutes his cabinet. The truth of the matter is that the problems and the challenges of Nigeria is much larger than the capacity of one mind. As my old uncle, the late uncle said when he was retiring, wisdom comes from sources we least expect. When the president constitutes his cabinet, and actually what I was expecting is before any major decisions, any further major decisions are taken, the cabinet should be constituted and they should be called into action, debate the hope agenda, decide the order of execution and the priorities. That's what I expect. So what I'm in essence saying is that he has started, but this is just at the beginning. The river is still yet to flow with strength and vitality.
So, Doctor, let me tell you what some analysts are saying, which is that the president has not implemented any aspect of the agenda. They are saying all that he's doing is what he inherited from the administration. Do you agree with this?
No, I don't agree. It's not the president that will implement the agenda. It's the government. And under the Constitution, the president is only part of the government. He's only head of the government. What he needs to do as an essential part of the implementation of the Hope Agenda is to constitute a good government for the good people of Nigeria. And I believe he's busy at doing that. All the decisions he has taken so far is laying the foundation for the great transformation, which is essential in the Hope Agenda document.
All right, Doctor, you commended the president for taking some bold decisions, but some of these decisions, which is fuel subsidy removal, is generating so much backlash. How do you advise the FG to handle this?
The Nigerian people must be ready to make the sacrifice for the transformation. If you remember what the famous, I think it was Harold Wilson, the president of UK, the prime minister of UK, during the time, I think it was during the Second World War. I promise you tears, blood, and sweat. I have nothing to promise you. So be ready to face the challenge. In the same manner, the president needs to let the people of Nigeria know that we will go through a period of inconvenience. It may even be a period of financial dislocation before we begin the journey to a better life. Naturally, the removal of subsidy will bring a lot of discomfort, will bring a lot of pain. But what choice do we have? Do we want just 0.000% to have over 90% of the wealth of the nation, while 90% of the people have nothing? I don't think that's what we expect from a human rights president. The people, their interests in their generality to be the primary choice. But the people must be willing to sacrifice. We are in a state of war, economic war, literally. Considering the debt of this nation, considering the level of corruption in this nation, considering the disorderliness in the management of our wealth, considering the irresponsibility of leaders, considering the loss of hope, considering the pain of the common man. Any president who is ready must let us know that together we must face these challenges. It is not just the people alone. The government itself must face the challenge, must demonstrate through its actions, its decisions, its choices, its movements, even its consumption, that is making the sacrifice in order for the people to acquire believability, in other words, to have interest in the hope agenda.
But Doctor, looking at how the hardship is pushing more Nigerians into poverty, should things continually be put at the mercy of market forces? Shouldn't government slow down at some point?
You know, it's very convenient. Here is the point. I always tell my children that I always make the more difficult choice. I once had a meeting with my children, and they were asking me, considering how principled I am, how was it that I was able to get to where I got to in? Considering that I faced the arena of life at a disadvantage, I haven't lost my father at 1 year old. I told my children I always make the more difficult choice because it allows me to think, to work hard, to endure, and to triumph. The people of Nigeria must be ready at this point to make a more difficult choice. But I believe if we can endure the pain of childbirth, we will celebrate the joy of birth of a new baby. But that stress, that pain that a woman endures, should the woman say that, look, because of this pain, I won't have a child? Every woman wants a child in spite of the pain. Let the Nigerian people look for the wealth that a new baby, a new government, renewed hope will bring. But they must be ready to endure the hard, harsh pain of going through that stress to have that new agenda.
All right, Doctor. Well, I'm not sure, or I'm sure ordinary Nigerians are not tired of sacrificing for the development of this country. But for you, where and how do you think government at all levels, what kind of sacrifices do you think government at all levels should make at this point?
First and foremost, government must work hard to reduce corruption, because one of the terrible neuroses of this nation is corruption. Leadership corruption is the greatest threat to national development. Government must reduce consumption.
Dr. Abayomi, are you there? All right, tonight we're speaking with a constitutional lawyer and political analyst, Dr. Tunji Abayomi. Tonight we're discussing President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda and ministerial expectations.
The law works, particularly that the law controls the appetite of leaders. These are areas. Then governments need to ensure that we have a tidy government. A tidy and efficient government. These are areas that I believe governments need to work hard to demonstrate to the people of Nigeria that yes, there is a basis for hope in hope agenda.
All right, Doctor. So let's talk about the federal government's planned cash transfer to Nigerians, which is generating negative reactions. Why is this so?
What did you say?
All right, so that's the planned cash transfer to Nigerians as palliatives. This is generating negative reactions. Why is this so? Why is this generating negative reactions?
It's simplistic, considering the challenge we face. That's why I was talking of making a more difficult choice. It's highly simplistic. First and foremost, it will not reduce our problems, it will only compound it. In my view, it's very illusory. Secondly, with due respect, we have gone through this path once before. We've passed through this path before. What was our gain? We must learn from our experiences in order to know what to do. It was Abraham Lincoln who said, to make a difference, you cannot walk on a beaten path. You must burn and thirst for distinction. If you have to walk on the same path that brought us no benefit, how does it make sense? And I'm proud of Nigerian people, very proud of Nigerian people. Almost in unity, they raised their voice in spite of their suffering. They said they didn't want the money because it only increased their pain. What they want is to make the sacrifice. Let the government join them in making the sacrifice and rebuild this nation to greatness. And this nation has potential, possibility, as I said in my book, State and Citizens, to be one of the leading nations in the world, considering the fecundity of our citizens, the energy of the youth, and the wisdom of the elders.
All right, Doctor. So looking at it from all of the angles available to you, how will you describe the way the president has handled the matter so far?
I'm proud of the president. Like I said, I would have been terribly disappointed if out of pride, government pride, he says he's going to go ahead because the decision has been made and pronounced upon in spite of the rejection of the people of Nigeria. You know, we have had governments in the past. They say government has spoken and it is decree. We are now in a democracy. Government of the people, by the people, and for the benefit of the people. It's not government of leaders, by leaders, and for the benefit of leaders. To the extent that the government listened. And in many decisions the government has taken so far, it is apparent that it's examining the thoughts, it's listening to the voices of the people. It's looking at their disposition in order to take the decisions the government is taking. And you listen to the president talking to a women group just a few days ago, or even yesterday or 2 days ago. He said, I understand the pain, I understand the sacrifice, I know. But you are women, you know very well. For them to enjoy the happiness of a new birth, you have to go through the pain of childbirth. That is a president. He must speak to the people. He must let them know that he understands their pain and he is willing to turn the pain to joy, to turn their tears to laughter. That's what a president is supposed to be, and that's why he's elected.
Great. So let's talk about revenue generation, which has remained a challenge from one administration to another. What do you think can be done to boost this?
The way to do that is to tax the taxable. There are lots, particularly the wealthy in this nation. Anything goes. You go to Germany, for example, There's a discussion about in Germany to have free education. But to get free education in Germany, you pay 45% of your wealth goes to tax for national development. You go to Britain, you go to America, no nation can expect to have resources to develop without an efficient tax system. Now, when you have tax system, you raise wealth and capital. That will now be transformed to development, to education, to industry. And so you get more people employed. And when you do that, you have more tax. So that is important. Development of industries is also crucial, but you need money for that. Now, there are lots of sectors in this nation that is great transformation, great transformation, not only in terms of avoidance of corruption or considerably reducing it, but increase efficiency. When a system is inefficient, it becomes very corrupted and corruptive. The government needs to have good minds, not merely good hands, who can think. I think it was the time of King Arthur who said, this is the time of King Arthur when we must reach for the skies. That's what the government needs to do for this time that we are in. Because a lot of our people are losing hope and faith in their own country. And it shouldn't be so.
Thank you very much, Doctor. I've been speaking with a constitutional lawyer and political analyst, Dr. Tunji Abayomi. Tonight, we're discussing President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda and ministerial expectations. Let's take a break and I'll be right back. Please stay with us. Back to politics tonight, where we dig beyond the headlines. Tonight, we're discussing President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda and ministerial expectations with a constitutional lawyer and political analyst, Tunji Abayomi. All right, Doctor, let's shift our focus to President Tinubu's ministerial list. What are your expectations?
Well, we can only judge him from past performances. We expect that he will pick the best and the brightest, using the words of John Kennedy. We expect that he will pick quite a number of youths that can lead us into the future. The world is changing very rapidly. We expect that it will be a mixture of the ancient wisdom, as I said, and modern intellect. We expect that he will choose innovators, those who dream big for a big nation like Nigeria. But we expect also that he will have a few politicians there so that they are not defeated and give him unnecessary problems. So we expect a good team that can work with him to make a nation great. That's what we expect.
So, Doctor, are you of the opinion that the president should have far more technocrats than career politicians in his cabinet?
You should have three types of people. Some politicians, because there are lots of political problems that cannot be solved by technicality or technical minds. They should have strong technical innovative minds who will lead this nation to modernity and raise this nation out of the present state. We want to move with the world, and we have quite a number of proud Nigerians all over the world. You should have young people, men or women, who will create new understanding for the youth who have the future. So it should be an admixture, because one single thinking cannot resolve the complex issues of Nigeria, in my view. But I think it has sufficient freedom, having been a governor of a very complex state like Lagos.
So we have 5 more days to the constitutional deadline for the president to appoint ministers. What's your advice to him at this point?
My advice to him is that to think very, very deeply, and then he should write down his goals. What do I want to achieve as the head of this government? What does my government intend to achieve? And then decide, are these people capable, competent, able, strong enough in mind, in intellect, physically, for this great voyage? And then he should take them one by one. Look at their attributes, their capacity, their ability, their strength, and their weaknesses. And then decide each of them. Because the expectation of Nigeria is very strong and very serious. And the people of Nigeria want a different nation. That's what they expect from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And having gone through the crucible, my expectation and my prayer is that he will not fail. I believe he will not fail.
So many people predicted that the 2023 presidential election would be very close and competitive. What were the surprises that, in your view, the election threw up?
It wasn't close. The gap between the winner and the second is almost 2 million. The gap between the second place and the third place is almost 2 million. As you can't say that kind of election is close. No, it wasn't close.
Are you there with us, Doctor?
Yes, I'm
so what
with
were
you.
the surprises?
I'm saying the election.
Okay, what were the surprises that in your view?
The surprises, in my view, is the power of youths. And I'm happy over that, because now government cannot take the youth of Nigeria for granted. I mean, we have a situation where there was division virtually in every home. Some of my children were not following me. They were attacking me for taking a position in support of my party, attacking my party in my own house. That's the effervescence, the charge, the interest of the people of Nigeria. And you can see the number of voters that came out. And even the interest of Nigerians all over the world, their determination, desire, and pressure to vote everywhere. This is the stable surprise in that election. And I believe future elections will continue to follow this line.
So people say the election has made us far more divided as a people. Do you agree?
Every election creates division. America is still dealing with division from the last election. I mean, we are talking of it's 4 years now. Trump has gone to court 60 times. 60 times he's been in court because of the past election. And you can see what is happening. And America is basically one language, one people, one religion, you might even say one family. And we're talking of a Nigeria with so much diversity. We are proud of Nigeria. Very proud to be a Nigerian. If Nigeria were, for example, in America, will America stand with all these ethnic groups? It won't. So people talk of divisions. Every election divides people, naturally. That's why you have election, petition. That's why you have another election in 4 years, and so on and so forth. So there's nothing strange about that.
All right. So apart from fully implementing the federal character principle, what other steps can be taken to unite our fractured nation?
The greatest means of uniting us is to empower us economically. Poverty, for example, knows no ethnicity. Poverty knows no religion. The same thing with wealth. But anybody who has ability to pay for medical health, to eat, to do all of that, does not begin to think of divisions. So the best way to unite Nigeria is to provide for the peoples of Nigeria. You know, Nigeria is a unique nation. This is a nation unique in the sense that there is no nation in the world where the various ethnic groups are providentially, permanently, by design of providence, located in different geographical zones. That's why I said that, look, the Constitution of Nigeria is not a constitution. It's a military document imposed on the people. If we want to have a constitution, a nation with so many nationalities, look, sit around the table. And what I think it was Leopold Senghor spoke about universal banquet, in which people agree on the terms of their unity. They are a united nation. That's what we should agree upon. But we haven't agreed upon that. It is not a government that gives a nation a constitution. It's a constitution that gives a nation a government. But in our case, it was a military government that forced a constitution on us. And it is not the content of a constitution that validates it. It is the procedure of making a constitution. So at a point, as part of building our unity, we will have to take a look at the structure of the nation. I'm not talking about restructuring. People talk about restructuring. But how do you restructure a nation that does not have an adequate structure? The adequate structure is the agreement by the peoples of Nigeria on the type of government they want for the peoples of Nigeria.
All right. So, Dr. Abayomi, the verdict of the Presidential Election Petitions Tribunal is being awaited. Do you see the legal battle leading to a rerun?
No. There's no case. There's no case. There are 3 principal issues that were raised by the opposition. Let me take them briefly to tell you that any elementary legal mind will understand that it's an exercise in futility. For us to say Tinubu wasn't qualified, you hang your case on certain forfeiture. Well, the Constitution talks of conviction largely as disqualification. You cannot talk of conviction without a charge, a plea, and a trial. All forfeitures, all criminal forfeitures follow conviction. All criminal forfeitures universally. So, for example, a drug baron can pay me money for my services as a lawyer. Drug money for my services as a lawyer. And the law will go after that money because it's bad money. But I'm not a bad person because I wasn't involved in his business. So, separate bad money from good people. You can still attach that bad money. Now, when I'm a bad person, you will charge me to court. I will take a plea. I will be tried, and I will be convicted, and then forfeiture will follow. I'm an American trained lawyer. I know that. That's number one. The second point is that you are talking of that one quarter of 2/3 of the states and Federal Capital Territory. The Constitution has resolved that. I was a lawyer in the case of 1983 case of Waziri Ibrahim against Shagari. That issue had been resolved. Very simple. You treat Abuja as a state. And so you don't treat Abuja more than any state. But a lot of people confuse the issue. They talk of Federal Capital Territory. Federal Capital Territory is a mere nomenclature, like Ondo, like Zamfara, and so on and so forth. The focus is not on Federal Capital Territory. The focus is on the voters. Now, people forget something, that federal government has no voters. Only states and local governments have voters. That's why the Constitution turns Federal Capital Territory to a state so that it can account for the votes in the Federal Capital Territory. And you cannot have a voter in Nigeria cannot have more value. No voter can have more value than another voter in Nigeria. Like I told my colleagues, some of my colleagues who are promoting this crazy doctrine, and I said, look, if you have 5 people in the palace of a king, 3 men and 2 women, and you say 2 men must bow to the king and a woman, what is the implication? Naturally, 2 men and a woman, but you say a woman because a woman is not a man. You cannot treat unequals equally, even for the purposes. But for the purposes of the end you want to seek, the Constitution has already resolved that. Treat Abuja like a state, not more than a state or less than a state. So whatever happens in Zamfara or Ondo State or in Cross River State is applicable. Now, with regard to the third one, that there is a corrupt practices and so on and so on, that's no, it's a non sequitur, because the law is that if you want to prove that the election should be invalidated in this case, you must show substantial non-compliance with the law. They call substantial non-compliance. You have the burden of showing substantial. That's what the cases have established. That's why the lawyer for Tinubu spoke of fiction. He said, what they put before the court is mere fiction without any proof. And I share his position.
So, Doctor, at the period before the inauguration of elected public officers on May 29, saw a lot of frivolous matters filed by lawyers. Do you agree with those who demand that severe punishment should be visited on erring lawyers to stop this trend?
Yes, the courts have started to do that. Many lawyers have been personally held responsible for the silly cases they filed in the Supreme Court. I think one was ordered to pay 2 million. Even senior lawyers. I believe frivolous cases should be penalized. The court is too serious in a democracy to be preoccupied with metalegal factors.
All right. So also related to this, one of the justices of the Supreme Court, Okoro, in a recent judgment, accuses some people of using the social media to intimidate judges. How did we get here?
Because I'm sorry, a lot of social media warriors are a little very presumptuous, and say anything, demean people, talk anyhow. The problem is that a lot of our social media, they lack maturity. And they are not the sense of responsibility. I mean, it's not sufficient. In other crimes, you don't talk anyhow about courts, knowing the significance of courts in a democracy. I mean, we say that that's the last hope of the common man. So if we mess up that last hope, then there will be no hope agenda.
All right. So let me quickly ask you this. Does public opinion really influence the opinion of courts in our country?
No. What influences the opinion of courts is the law. Well, law works wonders. Great wonders. Because the triumph of law is to change the society. You can say what law has done in America, for example. I mean, the black man who was once enslaved in America became the president of America because of the power of the laws. That's why America says that our government may be a government of law and not of men. And that's where we should be in our country. I believe that we should take a good care of the courts so that we will defeat corruption in the system, because there's still some of it in the judicial system, although quite a number of judges try. But we need to ensure they are well taken care of. And I'm not focusing only on the senior courts now. I'm talking of even magistrate courts, local courts, and so on and so forth, all the way to the higher courts. Because how do we solve conflicts? So the judicial power of the Federation invested in the courts of conflicts between, not only between citizens, but because between institutions, between governments, between systems. You can see the burden that the courts carry. Why it's important to strengthen the courts so that they can do the job impartially.
All right. Thank you very much, Doctor. I've been speaking with Dr. Tunji Abayomi, a constitutional lawyer and political analyst, tonight to discuss President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda and ministerial expectations. Thank you very much, Dr. Abayomi, for your contribution on the program today. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me.
And thank you very much for watching. That marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. But the conversation continues from here. Get in touch with us on Twitter at TVC News NG and at Olajumoke using the hashtag Politics Tonight. We're also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Join us for the repeat episode at midnight and tomorrow for another edition of Politics Tonight, digging beyond the headlines. I am Olajumoke Olatuji. Goodbye.
How do I cope with this heat?
By staying 5 degrees cooler.
Body odor is caused by germs, and on hot days, the sweating and the odor are more. That's why you need to get the new improved Dettol Cool Soap, which offers up to 5 degrees instant cooling sensation.
Would you like to join us on this mission?
Yes, but how?
Just one question. How do you keep your toilet clean?
I use regular detergent and bleach for washing and removing yellow stains. I have been using it for years.
Oh, madam, the regular detergents and bleach are used for washing clothes. To disinfect your toilet, you need Harpic 10X. It is specially made for germs and stains removal. Harpic sticker formula settles on stains and gives 10 times better cleaning.
Wow! Now I'm convinced, Helen Paul.
Really?
Yeah.
The next house is yours.
It's the Premier League all on DSTV. All the goals, all the clashes, all the moments. All of Rashford, Salah, and Saka. All in the language of your choice. All in HD. Available on all these bouquets to choose from. To watch on all these devices. Stay connected for all the action. Get DSTV with an HD decoder. Plus dish plus 1 month confirmed for 18,500 Naira. It's the Premier League. All on DSTV.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. Do you spend the night trying to get comfortable? Your knees rub bone on bone. Your back and hips ache. You wake up in pain? Not anymore. ShopX TV is proud to introduce the Contour Legacy Pillow, the patented, ergonomically designed tapered leg pillow that naturally fits the contours of your legs, knees and thighs to help align your spine and alleviate pain. Watch, when you sleep on your side, your leg falls forward, twisting your pelvis and lower back, putting pressure on your spine, hip and sciatic. But the Contour Legacy Pillow cushions your knees and cradles your legs, relieving stress on joints while restoring your lower back alignment. Sleeping on your side, your leg comes over and puts you out of alignment, causing lower back pain, hip pain, even knee pain. By using the Contour Legacy Pillow, it restores the natural alignment of the spine, helping to alleviate pain and pressure, leading to much more restful sleep. Old-fashioned leg pillows are bulky, but the anatomical design of the Legacy Pillow fits perfectly the shape of your body the way nature intended. You can even use two together for full leg alignment. Legacy Pillow is exclusively ventilated, so it always stays cool and dry. With top crescent design, it cuddles up to you perfectly and easily moves with you. Ordinary pillows go flat, but the Legacy Pillow is made up of soft memory foam, so it never loses its shape and the cover is machine washable. The Contour Legacy Pillow is now available in Nigeria, exclusively from ShopX TV. You could be paying up to 500,000 naira for an orthopedic bed that doesn't properly support your spine. But call the number on your screen now and get 2 Legacy leg pillows for just 69,900 naira and get relief from back and hip issues. But wait, if you call now, we'll upgrade you to the Contour Better Sleep Collection. The collection comes with 2 Contour Legacy leg pillows and 2 Contour Cool Gel head pillows at no extra charge. The Contour Cool Gel head pillow's soothing orthopedic support will cradle your head and neck for full alignment, while keeping you cool all through the night for the best sleep of your life. Incredible! That's 2 Contour Legacy pillows and 2 Cool Gel head pillows for just 69,900 naira. And that's not all. Place your order now and we'll also deliver your Contour Better Sleep collection with no shipping charge. But hurry! This is an exclusive ShopX TV offer and only available for a limited period. So, call now while stock lasts. Your rest is your wealth.
The proceeding was a paid presentation brought to you by ShopX.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Feel the power. Welcome to Righteous Invasion of Truth with Dr. Abel Damina.
Welcome to the most exciting event on television, Riot, Righteous Invasion of Truth, presented by the Power Broadcasting Network. Abel Damina is my name. I'm excited and I want to welcome to an exciting study of God's Word today. I have a free offer for you. If you send me a mail today, text me, chat me on WhatsApp, I'll send a free copy of this magazine to you for free. All you need to do is send me a message today on any of the platforms on the screen. Secondly, there's a Christocentric meal community, a community of faith, believers all over the world that has sent a devotional to every day, exegetically unveiling the person of Christ from the pages of the scripture to enrich your walk with the Lord Jesus. You want to be a part of that community so that every day you get a devotional from me? All you need to do is send me a chat on WhatsApp, give me a call, send me an email, or send me a text message today with your details, and I will ensure that every day a devotional is sent to you. Finally, this is the big one, 30 days of